Israel versus Hamas. Aunties apple pie won't be good enough. Man, today I'm going to give you some advice, and it's just that. You know, do as you please and ask yourself, man, if this stuff came to my backyard, if the fight came to my backyard, to my doorstep, you know, would I survive it? Man, I want you to go on YouTube, write this down. If you got a piece of paper or something, your notes and your phones, write this down. I want you to go to YouTube and type in news channels all saying the same thing. Click the first or second video that comes up and watch how the news media has been caught trying to get you to not think independently, not exercise self-autonomy, not to do any independent research. Check that out. You know, when I say Aunties apple pie, I'm talking about that apple pie that, you know, is renowned. Everybody calls your auntie and said, oh, auntie, your auntie, man, she got the best apple pie. When I tell you that apple pie is not going to be worth it in the end, let me break that down to you. You have those who are trying to sway you left. They want people to enter in through that wide gate that leads to destruction. And you have the few, the remnant, the peculiar people. You might look at them and say, man, these people are strange. They're different. That are trying to steer you towards the narrow gate that leads to life. Man, I don't know where this mindset of liberals comes from, and ultimately it comes at the expense of other people. You know, man, you got churches out there right now that are deceiving people left and right because they're asking people to not only pray for Israel, but they're asking for donations to support what's going on over there, and you never stop to ask, where's the money going? They're keeping that money in-house. This time right now is going to be a pastor appreciation like no other. They're keeping that money in-house. Better yet, the church told you that you're Gentiles. Everybody's Gentiles. You never looked into it. You never looked into it and found out what that word means. You know, they have the people soft-minded, you know, complacent in this captivity. And I'm just trying to give you some advice, just try to wake you up. Man, you have those out there that for some cause, they think war is pretty, that war is not bloodshed. And I'm gonna try to explain this the best of my abilities with knowing that, you know, a lot of people haven't seen this stuff, but man, when conflict takes part, the enemy is not saying, man, that's a house full of women, that's a house full of kids, this is this. They're not moving like that. They're knocking heads off. Spot 'em Got 'em had a song, Pure Foolish, is talking about knocking dreads. They knocking dreads off, knocking legs off, everything. Man, it is an eye-opener. It was an eye-opener for me growing up, land of the free, home of the brave, that's really been stolen from the native people. Now they call it Indigenous People Day. But for many years, brainwashed, whitewashed everybody with Columbus Day. To be in another country across the pond, you know, in them first generation of MRAPs, where they was built like aluminum foil, they look good. First IED hit, thing crumble up like a Whopper Jr. wrapper. You're seeing this. You know, you're getting off the back of these trucks. You know, security teams. Me being a commo guy, part of that, the security team. Man, you getting it off into these cities, large crowds. Sometimes you see kids, you try to throw out candy to appease them in the moment, but man, they know what you're there for. And that's the part where you are drinking all the Kool-Aid. And you're seeing kids and women with AKs. Why do they have these AKs? What are we doing over there? Man, these people are trying to protect their land. Protect their land. Anybody that's driven through Texas has seen the oil fields. Man, they got oil fields across the pond that ain't nowhere on a map. They don't want you to know it. This stuff goes deep. And I've flown across it. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. But behind a lot of these wars, there is nothing more than a cash grab, a doggone trying to steal people's resources and cover it up as something heroic. Man, I done been to some liberal places, you know, where I've had to work and stuff like that, and people will say, thank you for your service. But these people is anti-gun, anti-violent, claim to be Christian. I'm saying, where do you get this stuff from? Because you can look in Genesis chapter 14 and see that the Most High Yah had some warriors. There was about that action. Man, my advice to you is to wake up, you know, smell the salt. I'm trying to put a little spark to you. It's just advice. Take it for what you want. Man, when this thing hits the fan, it's going to be about food, shelter, weapons, and ammunition. You know, those are going to be bartering tools. Bartering tools. You know, a dollar bill, you know, Bitcoin, digital currency. Man, that's when it hits the fan. You think them people over there getting they buttholes blown off is worried about some doggone Bitcoin and all of this stuff? Man, you better wake up. You better wake up. I'm telling you. Man, when you see this stuff on TV, man, you need to be in the mindset of at least monthly saying, let me buy a box of ammo. Let me get 2 boxes of ammo. Don't rush to the store like a crazy and go in there and try to buy a whole cart worth. Every month, let me go get a box of ammo, another box of ammo. 1 box for storage, 1 box to train. Man, when it comes down to these liberal people that have this anti-gun, anti-violence, I don't know what Bible they're reading. Messiah himself came to bring a sword. He didn't come to bring peace. It tells us we're going to hear of rumors of war and all of this stuff. This stuff must happen. And you got folks out there trying to sing Kumbaya with the enemy and not realizing that the enemy is going to swipe everything, take everything away from you just like they did the Native Americans. They're going to take everything and then ration it back out to you the way that they want. Man, people, the news media, the reason I told you to go look at that video on YouTube about the news media all saying the same thing was so you can see that they're trying to push a narrative. And that narrative is going to have you sway a certain way. It's going to cause you to be complacent. It's going to cause you not to plan. It's going to cause you not to be ready. Let me tell you something. All these people that's anti-gun, even if it's your family members, your auntie with that good apple pie, you know, I'm going to keep baking this apple pie, baby. You know, we ain't worried about no guns. Ain't nobody coming for us. Man, look at the doggone Balfour Agreement. Take 30 minutes of your day and look at the Balfour Agreement about Great Britain and the Europeans invading over 90% of the land of Israel, pushing those people out, you know, in 1948 and taking over their land. Go back and look up the Berlin Conference. This is why Africa looks like a whole bunch of states. You look at Africa and the United States on a map, they look like they got the same structure as we got. Berlin Conference. Man, there has always been an enemy out there that wants to take what you have. And what I'm telling you to do is to be prepared to defend yourself. A lot of these liberals will not be left standing. They won't survive. All of these men that get up on news, they say, man, we're anti-gun and they killing people. Let some shit hit the fan. You're going to have all of these suit-wearing, cologne-wearing, square-toe tip pulpit pimps knocking on anybody's door that they know that has a firearm to try to get some protection. You're going to have your auntie that blew you off. No, we don't need to worry about that, man. I'm going to just keep going down to their Bible study, and they're going to keep telling me that I'm Gentiles, and I'm going to keep baking this pie. Auntie going to be calling. Baby, you know I got another batch of pie over here. You think you could come do some security over here? Click. Been telling you this whole time. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. But what's going to happen is when the fight is brought to your backyard or shows up on your doorstep, you're not going to have a chance in hell to survive. You know why? Because you've been complacent and got comfortable in this land of captivity. How many times are you going to go in the store and see that meat is not on the shelf? They done ran out of certain things. Pandemic should have been an eye-opener for you. Let me turn this wiper off. You know, it's going to come down to food, shelter, guns, ammunition. It's going to come down to those things. Man, you look at how you're postured in your life. Think about the average response time. Imagine if some shit hit the fan in Chicago. If some shit hit the fan in New York. Think about the response time. You picking up the phone calling 911 because you didn't grew complacent in your captivity and the phone lines is down. These are the people that you overly trust to protect your life because you don't want to protect your own. Think about that. Man, a key thing about the wilderness, being in the wilderness, is there's protection and provision there. You know, something hits the fan in one of these liberal places where they doing all these alphabet marches, all of this nonsense. Man, these people have no idea what it feels like for 762 to whistle by you. You know, man, I remember being at offsites, and this is back in the day of portable DVD players, man. You be watching your little movie, trying to get a little downtime, trying to find, you know, just the most normal thing that you can do to get your mind off of where you are. You were the outside in that first mortar round come in. I'm talking about your butthole gets so tight, man. You can't shit straight for 3 weeks. You ain't using the bathroom right, and you got guns and ammunition around you, and it's go time. It's go time. Complacency will get you killed. It's just advice. Take it and do what you want. But you got women out here right now that say they strong, say they independent, don't need no man. Let some shit hit the fan. You gonna be trying to find the closest thing to a burly boy you can. All of these men that get on these podcasts and Sigma this and Alpha this and man, them jokers won't bust a grape. Won't bust a grape. Ain't never busted a grape. I'm telling you. Will you survive it? How are you gonna survive it? Man, John Wick, man, I would take a man that I've never met, don't know personally, over some of my own blood family. Why? You think about the actor. I want to say that's Keanu Reeves, John Wick, and why that movie did so good. The movie did so good because he wasn't just acting. Go back and look at the footage. You know, the train up, the gun competition that actor partakes in. Look at the training where he was on the gun range with live assault rifles, live rounds, 9mm, 5.56, 7.62. You know, manipulating that weapon, knowing how the cycles of function. So you're right. I take somebody like that over Auntie with that doggone apple pie. Because Auntie didn't want to listen. Didn't want to listen. For the heathens, got these holidays coming up that you love. Tell you something. I'm telling you something. All the sweaters and turtlenecks and little gifts and all of that, when shit hits the fan, you ain't gonna give a damn about that 55, 70-inch TV that you trying to doggone get. You're gonna be trying to find the things that I told you. Food, shelter, guns, ammunition. Man, if you are in a place that is liberal minded and they got these capacity laws, all of this stuff, I would encourage you to get free of that in due time. It is a process. That's not an overnight thing, you know. But if they do allow you to have magazines, 5, 10 rounds, go start getting your stuff. Put in your paperwork to get your permit, whatever you got to do in your area to get prepared. Get prepared. Man, being prepared and being ready has never failed me. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That has never failed me. Man, you got people walking in these liberal cities that are worried. Oh, Israel, thinking that they are the people, walking around complacent, have no idea what to do if somebody walk up and swing on them, have no idea what to do, and wonder why they're going to lose their life. And then you have those who train, who get after it, and even when somebody swing on them, they don't leave untouched, but they survive. They survive. That's what this thing is about. Because some of this stuff that this home of the free, land of the brave has done, it's only a matter of time before the environment that these Europeans created, that these upcoming generations is going to have to deal with that. It's only a matter of time. You see what I'm saying? You can't go, you know, in 1948, you can't invade Israel, try to wipe out the original people of that land, and think that that's never going to come back to you. The people over there now, these people that Israelis that originate from Europe, when you look at them, you look at the Kim Kardashians of the world and you're like, oh, we need to pray for Israel. That's a European woman. From somebody that's seen these European women, lived over there. That's a European woman. You're not going to be able to invade nobody's land and try to wipe them out and think that the remnant won't come back and try to wreak havoc on your life. That's why I told you, war has never been pretty. You see this stuff in the movies where they're like, oh, we got to, you know, there's kids and women, and no, hell no. Hell no, that ain't how it happened. That is not how it happened. Man, when conflict kicks off, blood is shed. I'm telling you, being overseas, man, seeing these kids, some of them 8, 12, with AK-47s, you know, rocket launchers, RPGs. Man, these people will knock your head off to protect what they have. What are you willing to do for yours? Or you just gonna acquiesce, capitulate, trust on 911, the suits, the news media to come defend your land? Man, I was so glad to get out of HOA neighborhoods for all these rules and stuff that they had, and then also to get out of these communities where houses are so close together. You know, you got to think tactically for a little bit. There's no need in somebody sending armored, you know, an armored team through one of these neighborhoods when these houses are built out of stick frames, you know, drywall, and the boarding on the house that's wrapped is so thin. Man, there ain't no need to send no whole crew through there. Somebody will strike a match, and due to your house being 10 feet, you know, 8 feet from somebody else's house, man, they'll wipe out a whole neighborhood just like that. And you worried about Christmas shopping. You worried about trick-or-treating. You thinking that everything's all good as long as you can call 911. That's because they've got you dependent on the system. Brothers, sisters, and saints that keep the ways of the Most High Yah, returning to the covenant. Man, I'm here to tell you that your family that disregarded you when you tried to give them that truth, when you tried to give them that advice, hey, you ain't walking straight, you ain't walking upright. Your family that disregarded you when you said, hey, we need to really be planting. We don't need to just be reading this, talking about sowing a seed, a financial seed. No, we really need to be planting. We really need to be building. We really need to be doers of the word. These are some of the same people that are going to seek refuge from you because they know you got food, they know you got shelter, they know you got guns, they know you got ammunition. They're going to seek it, they're going to try to freeload off of you. But you tried to warn them. They're going to be knocking on your doors. The call is going to come. You still doing that gardening? You still out there shooting? Yeah, it's coming. That apple pie, don't want it. Keep your damn apple pie. Because in the end, we only know a remnant going to be saved. We only know a remnant is going to be saved. Man, you have to wake up out of this mindset that they are trying to get people to move according to. They're trying to sway everybody left to the wide gate, trying to herd the sheep through the widest gate, and in the end, you're going to end up walking off of a cliff, and everybody going to lose their life. Man, you got to be ready to doggone take the fight when that thing shows up in your backyard. You know, in the wilderness, you ain't looking for no smoke, but I'll be damned, you ready for it if it comes. You know, You doggone ready for it when it comes. You know, my daughter, who doesn't live with me, every time she comes, we're getting back to the basics. We're getting back to training. Every time my daughter's learning how to shoot and get more. Now we're getting into distance because she already can shoot straight. You know, fishing. This season, this is gonna be my first season hunting. First season deer hunting. And you wonder why this thing is gonna come down to food, shelter, guns, ammunition. That's why the Native Americans got beat off. Europeans had guns. They had technology. They couldn't load them arrows fast enough. Here you are thinking you just going to call 911 and that's going to be good enough. What you going to do when the phone's disconnected? What you going to do when somebody's ravaging through your doggone house and you up in a pantry somewhere hiding or a closet somewhere hiding and you didn't survive, but they also just stole everything away from you? It's the same reason why, you know, the first opportunity I had when I got married to my wife, hey, we gotta shoot. We gotta shoot. I don't need to be the only one. I don't need all y'all hiding behind me. We got enough for everybody here to have, you know, 5 to 8 boxes of bullets, 2, 3 guns apiece. Everybody down. I want to say my son was 7 at the time. You know, 7 at the time. Started teaching him how to shoot, gun safety. Same with my daughter. Man, the basics will never fail you. I'm here to tell you that, you know, let this doggone dead season be something to open your eyes up. You know, your family, your loved ones that disregard what you're saying and you're trying to tell them the truth, if you want to impart any gifts on them, give them a box of bullets. Give them a box of 9mm. Buy them some good stuff. Oh, baby, what you buying me this for? You know I don't believe in it. Okay, you don't believe in it now because you have the luxury not to believe in it. Get them a box of 9mm and say, hey, that's all I can do for you. That's all I can do for you. I done got you half the way. You got to get to rest. And you better hope that they take heed to what you're saying. Because if not, hey, you're going to have to hit that deadbolt on them. You've been growing food. You've been storing. You got canned goods for you and your household. And jokers want to freeload, but they didn't receive wisdom. The word says people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Think about this. You got your blood family that will reject the wisdom because they haven't experienced anything. I'm going to hit that deadbolt on you. Click. I've been telling you. How many years I've been telling you? Probably need to do some training. Probably need to get you a firearm. Probably need to do this. Probably need to do that. You just want to come up here and eat high off the hog and spread your liberal mindset around those who have been training. It's just advice. Do what you want with it. Man, I realized, being in the military, I realized that the stuff that you see on the movies is one thing. But when you're on a military base, everybody's not walking around with weapons. Everybody's not walking around with weapons. And in order to come onto a military base, there's certain rules that have to be met, certain prerequisites that have to be met in order for you to bring a firearm home. But you're not seeing people in uniform walk around with firearms. You know, veterans and service members making up less than 1.5% of the population. Man, I'm telling you, better get ready. You better get ready. Because if the 1%, if this thing comes here, the 1% is not going to be able to fulfill what you yourself should have been doing. What you yourself should have been doing. You don't see everybody walking around on the military base with a firearm, but yet you go to these meetings, sit around a map, fly across the pond. They put an X on a map. That's the enemy. Hand you a gun. 210 rounds. Think about what I'm saying. 210 rounds is a full combat load. Okay? We teach trainees this in basic training as a drill sergeant. 210 rounds is a full combat load of 5.56, 223. Man, it's not until being in Iraq and Afghanistan, even if nobody told you, clean your weapon, I understood the importance of cleaning your weapon. You stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Seen people get complacent, not clean their firearm, not clean their rifle, their M4, their M16. When I came in, support MOSs got M16. You weren't getting a M4. Now they've gotten away from the M16. But I remember first deployment, luckily I had a good platoon sergeant that doggone was constantly telling, hey, clean your weapon, clean your weapon. Every other night, we in this dusty environment, clean your weapon, clean your weapon. I'm on a security team protecting making sure the top two is secure, and shit hits the fan. Man, you can tell somebody hasn't done what they're supposed to do when they go to doggone chamber around and the doggone squeeze the trigger to fire back and that weapon's malfunction. You like, oh, woo, woo. If I haven't ever been more thankful to have a platoon sergeant who I thought was a dick at the time, man, just that advice and actually being a doer of the advice that he gave was a lifesaver. Was a lifesaver. Was a lifesaver. Got a lot of people, man, in this country that are prideful, but they're not competent in anything other than what the system tells you supposed to be competent in. Man, you need to learn how to protect yourself, how to sustain for yourself. Tonight, I'm probably going to I'll go live again and show you some books that you can get. But again, the books is only going to give you knowledge. You got to be willing to do. Got to be willing to do. That way you're not easily deceived by what the system is trying to doggone get people to believe and sway people. You're not falling into any of these snares. And you can have some survivability. So you can be lethal when the time comes. Man, today I just wanted to share some real talk with you, give you some nuggets in there to let you know that what they're giving you is not really what it is. Don't fall victim to that stuff. Prepare yourself, and it'll be something that you never have to regret being prepared. Close to the Ministries, kicking it gun barrel straight.